Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. You know, relationships can be tricky sometimes. It's like trying to teach a cat to fetch, you think you've got it, and then poof, they're off chasing a laser pointer. Today we're diving into a topic that many of you have asked about. Those times when a woman seems distant. You know, she's just not her usual sparkly self. Believe me, it happens to the best of us. And it can leave you feeling like you're trying to read hieroglyphics blindfolded. So when a woman starts acting distant, here's what it really means. Let's get started. Signal 1. Feeling overwhelmed. Alright, first things first, sometimes a woman needs a little space. And by space, I mean a moment to herself, away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. And I'm not talking about the space between you on the couch during movie night. It's more about the mental and emotional distance she might need. I'm talking about emotional and mental space. It can happen to anyone, right? We all have those moments when everything feels like too much. Life throws a whole circus act at you. Work deadlines, family drama, your goldfish forgetting its name again. It can all pile up. It's like a never-ending performance. Imagine juggling bowling pins while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Sounds impossible, right? That's kind of what it feels like to be overwhelmed. It's a balancing act that can leave you feeling exhausted. You just need a minute to catch your breath. Maybe eat a whole pizza in your pajamas. We've all been there, right? Sometimes it's the little comforts that help us reset. So if your partner seems a little distant, the first thing to consider is whether she's feeling overwhelmed. It might not be about you at all. Maybe she's got a lot on her plate, or maybe she's just feeling the pressure. The weight of responsibilities can be heavy. It doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong with your relationship. Sometimes it's just about needing a breather. It's like when I try to make a souffle. It's a lot of pressure, and sometimes things don't go as planned. Sometimes I just need to step away from the oven, maybe have a dance party with Portia, and then I can handle it. A little break can make a big difference. The point is, everyone needs a little space sometimes, even those of us who pretend to be perfectly put together on TV. It's a part of being human. And that's okay. In fact, it's healthy. Taking time for yourself is essential for well-being. Signal 2. Stress from work or personal life. Now let's talk about stress. It's something we all experience, whether it's from work, personal life, or a combination of both. Because let's face it, life is like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. Just when you think you've got one problem handled, another one pops up. It's relentless and can be exhausting. And sometimes that stress can spill over into our relationships, affecting how we interact with those we care about. Think about it. Maybe she's got a demanding job, or maybe she's dealing with a family issue. These pressures can weigh heavily on anyone. Or maybe she's just trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. Even small tasks can feel overwhelming when you're stressed. Whatever it is, stress can make anyone want to crawl into a cave and hibernate until spring. It's a natural response to feeling overwhelmed. So, if your partner's acting distant, it could be that she's just plain stressed out. It's important to recognize these signs. And the thing about stress is, it can make us act in ways we normally wouldn't. It can cloud our judgment and make simple tasks seem monumental. It's like when I accidentally wore 2 different shoes to the Oscars that one time. Stress can make you overlook the obvious. Stress can make you do crazy things. But it's also a reminder that we're all human and prone to mistakes. The good news is, once the stress is gone, you can look back and laugh. Those moments become stories we share. Or at least that's what I tell myself. It's a way to find some light in the dark. The point is, if you think stress might be the culprit, the best thing you can do is be understanding and supportive. Show empathy and patience. Let her know that you're there for her and that you're willing to listen if she needs to talk. Sometimes, just knowing someone cares can make all the difference. Signal 3. Communication is key. Okay, this next one is important, so listen up. Communication is key in any relationship, but especially when one person is feeling distant. It's the glue that holds everything together. Think of it like Wi-Fi. When the signal is weak, everything just slows down and gets frustrating. You can't get anything done properly. You know what I mean? Sometimes when a woman pulls away, it's not that she doesn't want to talk. It's that she needs you to reach out. She might be dealing with something internally. She might be waiting for you to notice that something's off and start the conversation. It's a subtle cry for help. It's like when I try to get Portia's attention by subtly doing the robot dance in the background while she's on the phone. Sometimes humor can break the ice. Sometimes you gotta be a little more direct, you know? Directness can clear up misunderstandings quickly. So if you notice your partner seems quiet or withdrawn, don't be afraid to ask her what's going on. A gentle touch can also show you care. Say something like, "Hey, I noticed you seem a little down lately. Is everything okay?" This opens the door for honest communication. Just opening that line of communication can make a world of difference. It can turn things around completely. And listen, I know it can be scary to put yourself out there. Vulnerability is tough. What if she gets upset? What if she says she needs even more space? These are valid concerns. But trust me, having an honest conversation is always better than letting things fester and wondering what she's thinking. It brings clarity and relief. Signal 4, testing the relationship. Now, this next one might sound a little counterintuitive, but sometimes when a woman acts distant, she's actually testing the relationship. I know it sounds crazy, right? But hear me out. Look, relationships take work, and sometimes we need a little reassurance that the other person is still invested. So we might pull back a little to see how our partner reacts. It's like when I hide Portia's car keys just to see if she'll still make me breakfast. Just kidding. Maybe. But seriously, if your partner is acting distant, it could be her way of seeing how much you care. Does he notice when she's not her usual self? Does he try to reach out and connect? Or does he just let her drift further away? Now, I'm not saying you should overreact every time your partner needs a little space. But it's important to be aware of the signals she's sending. If she seems distant, don't just ignore it. Show her that you care, and that you're willing to put in the effort to make things work. Signal 5, feeling unappreciated. Okay, let's talk about feeling unappreciated. Because let's be honest, everyone wants to feel valued and appreciated, right? It's like when you make a delicious batch of guacamole and everyone devours it in seconds, it just makes you feel good. But sometimes, in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we can forget to show our partners how much we appreciate them. We get caught up in our own routines and to-do lists, and we take our partners for granted. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. It's like when Portia forgets to laugh at my jokes. I mean, I know I'm hilarious, but a little chuckle here and there wouldn't hurt. So if your partner is acting distant, ask yourself this. When was the last time you really showed her how much you appreciate her? When was the last time you surprised her with flowers or cooked her dinner or just told her how much she means to you? If you can't remember, it might be time to step up your game. Small gestures of appreciation can go a long way in keeping a relationship strong. Signal 6, personal issues. Now this one is important to remember. Sometimes when a woman acts distant, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Yep, you heard that right. She might be dealing with something completely unrelated to your relationship. It could be anything. A health issue, a family problem, a crisis with her best friend. Life throws curveballs, and sometimes we just need a little time to process things on our own. It's like when I tried to teach my dog Augie to play the piano. Turns out he's got his own dreams, and they don't involve Mozart. The point is, if your partner is acting distant, don't automatically assume it's your fault. It's easy to get caught up in our own heads and start overthinking things. But sometimes, the best thing you can do is just be there for her, without judgment or pressure. Let her know that you're there for her if she needs to talk, but also respect her space if she needs some time to herself. Signal 7, give her time and space. Okay, so we've talked about some of the reasons why a woman might be acting distant, and now it's time for the million-dollar question. What do you do about it? And the answer, my friends, is simpler than you might think. Give her time and space. I know, it's not exactly the most exciting advice, but trust me, it's often the best course of action. Think about it this way. When you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, what's the one thing you crave more than anything? That's right, a break. A chance to recharge your batteries without anyone demanding your attention. It's like when I go on vacation and try to convince Portia I'm a mermaid. I just need a little time to be myself, you know? So if your partner is acting distant, give her some space to breathe. Don't bombard her with texts or calls. Don't try to force a conversation if she's not ready. Just let her know that you're there for her when she's ready to talk. But here's the catch. Giving her space doesn't mean ignoring her completely. It's about finding a balance between giving her the space she needs and showing her that you care. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, relationships can be a wild ride, like a roller coaster full of twists, turns, and the occasional loop-de-loop. And remember, understanding and communication are key in any relationship. Just like you wouldn't try to parallel park without checking your mirrors, don't navigate the ups and downs of love without open and honest communication. See you in the next video.